you so much for that very insightful presentation on the sexual offenders registry, as well as on what we can all do to help and do our part. So I now open the floor for any questions, comments.
Yes. Thank you very much, Roberta. Right. I want to go back to the whole issue mandatory reporting. Because, for example, when we were doing this project, that was a major issue that we had, because we were saying, you know, when we do the work in the communities and people report, I mean, it meant that we were supposed to then, but at the time, we felt that there were no structures and no systems to adequately deal with the issue. If even we reported, that reporting may not have been the solution in that particular case. So I wonder, do you think that the situation has improved, that people could be really motivated to do that mandatory? I think we should collect a few, and then we'll look at that.
Question? Yeah.
Oh, so this is just a question for you, Roberta. So having to hear everything about the registry, I just wanted to know what, I guess, spiked that thought to have a conversation on implementing a sexual offenders registry in Trinidad and Tobago. What spiked the thought? What made us want to implement a sexual offenders registry in Tobago, considering all about the discussion about the efficiency, or the potential efficiency?
And we'll take these two, and then Roberta will respond, and then we'll take another couple. So, Nicole?
So just a comment. There's currently being research done around young people below the age of 18 service provision to their sexuality. And of course we recognize that this is happening because as it stands now, a young person under the age of 18 needs to go with a parent or guardian to seek services. And we always wonder if that person was then an abuser, how do you get that child to then say something is going on according to that abuse? So that research should be finished maybe by at least the first part of the by the end of the year, and we're hoping to first year in findings with all the
And last question for this round.
Right. So the risk-based determination from the court, I want to know is there gender jurors? Because we know that our courts, with all these jurors, are not always the most objective regarding race, area of residence, and income, regarding how we treat with people. And also what happens to these samples if you're not convicted? The samples are collected on charge, right? And if you're not convicted, what is the process for disposal or like what happens to the samples?
So this is a conversation part, so I know the room is full of well-read, experienced persons, so feel free to jump in and contribute to some of the particulars as well.
Yeah. So this thing about the mandatory reporting, and I think that's what work is there. So maybe, you know, I know if you all want to speak out a little bit about that.
We know about that. However, in recent, there's a new phenomenon, I should say phenomenon, and then like for a minor, when you go to report to the police station that deals with a minor with sexual abuse, what they are saying now is that the minor that we disclose who the perpetrator is, there is no case. But so that's happening. That's a recent thing, but you know that as long as a minor is sexually by right to have to report.
Yeah.
So I would like probably, that the people from the CPU could, speak on that because it becomes like,
Yeah, because that's about investigation actually, right? I mean, if you receive a report, the police now have to investigate and detect. Not just say, well, this person is name. That's just short. Aisha?
I hear you, but I think I'm going to pass
all our superintendent, who's here, Mr. Johnny. So rather because he's the head of the child section and quite capable as well.
That is an evidence issue. It's an issue of evidence. We can't take hearsay evidence to the court. My colleagues at the law school will come out very profitable in that. With that sort of investigation. So we have to look at whether or not the law can give persons other than police officers the freedom to go to the court and give that kind of testimony. As of now, that doesn't exist. We can get a report from the social worker, but when it comes to giving the evidence of who are the perpetrator, who is the perpetrator, who are perpetrators, that disclosure must come from a court.
But my question then, Superintendent, is what constitutes due diligence in investigation? You have received a report from a professional who has reasonable grounds for believing in sexual ill will, for example, clearly medical social workers or health professionals, where you have a 13-year-old who's pregnant in your hospital.
We have a 13-year-old who's pregnant in the hospital. There are many problems coming with that simple notification. One, the doctor who says or gave the diagnosis that that child is pregnant doesn't want to complete the medical. So we have to go to the Children's Authority to get a doctor from the Children's Authority to do another examination to say the child is pregnant. Then we wait with bated breath until the child is born to get definitive evidence that the child and the perpetrator are connected, DNA evidence. So we take the DNA evidence. And the DNA machinery at the Forensic Science Center has not been functioning for the last very long. So
But Superintendent, you know,
it's about evidence, ma'am. We have to, the prosecution in this matter must prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. And we cannot go on hearsay evidence. And if we have to go on circumstantial evidence to quote the DPP. The circumstantial evidence must be so strong that it goes beyond just mere speculation.
So it seems to me that maybe one of the things that can come out of this conversation is maybe a development of some sort of investigation protocol for child sexual abuse. Because you will have, you have to give meaning to the legal requirement for mandatory report. If you don't give legal meaning to it, then all those people who are mandated to report will stop reporting. And so you create with self-fulfilling prophecy. So you can do investigations which include, of course, your biological, the DNA work, but then just old-fashioned policing, questioning, investigating.
Ma'am, I can name a number of social workers throughout the spectrum of social work in Trinidad and Tobago that refuse to give police written testimony, a written statement. We cannot go to the court with word of mouth that this social worker said X, Y, and Z. We have to go to the court and now we must file a written statement with the registrar of the court as evidence of that person's testimony.
So that's another problem. Whether the person wants to give it, but the person who's giving you the written statement, let's take the easiest one. The person who's giving you a written statement of their belief on reasonable grounds that a minor with whom they have had interaction is the victim of child sexual abuse. The question is, what do you do step by step? You don't have to answer the question also, but clearly I think that's something we have to think about. What do you do step by step? We have detection. What would the steps we take? What we do due diligence investigation.
Let me just say this. If I may purport this as an answer. Between January 1st to June 20th, I came into the child protection unit. There were 99 arrests for offenses against children. From the 20th of July to the 30th of October, there were 75 it will demonstrate an increase.
Yes.
I have the ABCs of investigation. Accept nothing, believe no one, challenge everything. And my people do that till the T.
So are you saying you're a bit overwhelmed?
No, I would not say so. I will never say that.
Okay, so the next question, thank you, Superintendent.
But I just want to add, however, in those instances where the child may not want to disclose initially, that's where we would come in oftentimes and work with the child protection.
Yeah.
We do that psychosocial to extract the information that will help with
Exactly.
investigation.
That's what,
But I would say yes, we may view as somewhat overwhelmed.
so that's part of your due diligence investigation, right?
I have the four questions.
Okay, so the next one is what spiked the interest in sexual offenses register? I think as Rhoda will tell you, who is a certain member of the CEDAW committee, that at the last Trinidad report, Trinidad and Tobago report of CEDAW, that's one of the recommendations of the CEDAW committee to establish a national sex offenders registry. So that may be the answer. That may be the answer. Three, something about under 18, comprehensive report. I think you have the answer to that. What is it? You asked, what can we do?
No, I just made a comment that there's research going on that may actually increase some of the reporting period with minors.
So we look forward to that research. And lastly, gender sensitivity of the judges' part. You may know, Lisa, that there is now a wonderful manual prepared by the judges themselves under the leadership of Justice Field Jones on gender sensitive judging in Trinidad and Tobago, which addresses conscious and unconscious bias, not just on gender, but on all the other variables in which we experience bias, whether we know it or not. And the judges are supposed to be trained in this gender sensitive judging, this manual. I don't know that they have, but the manual exists, and I think there's a lot of awareness about gender sensitive judging, particularly to the family court, the children court. And you know, a lot of the jurisprudence around equality is coming out from Trinidad and Tobago. Think of the Jason Jones case, you know, the Trinity Cross case. You know, there's a lot of equality jurisprudence coming out of Trinidad and Tobago. I think it's a judiciary, I think that's quite out there of conscious and unconscious bias. And it does have this wonderful manual.
Representative samples, what happens to the samples?
Oh, this I don't know. Do you know, Regan?
No, they have not proclaimed the data for the storage of human specimen samples. But usually, if they follow the UK's, then it might be stuff like 5 years or so, and thereafter disposed. But once you enter into that updated ban, it stays there for quite some time. But of course, it would require a special majority because it goes against your constitutional rights.
So, questions? We have one.
What is the percentage of people who would report DNA evidence against them?
There is a DNA act. She wants to know how many cases do we have of DNA evidence in court. Is it well used?
Yeah, well, it is. There is a little slowing down period because of the same circumstance as before. There's a slowing down of the use of the because we are
The machine broke down. You get that?
There's another question.
Yes. Yes, we're moving back to the register. All right, so I'm looking at exemption from register or reporting.
Yes.
And there is some light to be shed on that is, in what time frame can this offender says, okay, I will make an application that he does not want to be placed on this register? Is it same as an appeal or?
No, right at the time of conviction, you can make his application.
No. And outside of that?
I suppose at any time during
So if he spends 4 years in prison and he's to be released in 5 months' time, he could make his application.
Yeah, he can make his application anytime.
Anytime.
If the circumstances, you know, he falls within the considerations of the court of the government. It's completely discretionary, right?
Yeah, it is the decision to put someone on a register and website or not to put, is that reviewable?
Reviewable. I suppose it's appealable. appealable, not reviewable. I think appealable, because the High Court judge makes a determination, but that's appealable. Would you say that's so, Regan?
I agree, yes.
My question is, I have a question for you. To anyone here who's familiar, does anybody know the domestic violence, the DNA Act, you know, when it was constituted and when it was, like, because if they're using a particular law to allow DNA to be admissible in court, then it should have an act that follows it. Is there one?
Person is on especially on the website. It says the name should be there. Permanent change because they have caused a great amount of harm.
Well, again, right? Answer? Again, it says that it's like a judicial discretion, and the idea, I suppose, is to give the appropriate person a second chance. So the court has 8 or 9 or 10 things it must consider before it decides to take somebody off the register or expunge their name from the register. But it does include, of course, the gravity of the offense, the risk of harm to the victim or any other person, whether the person is reoffended, or any other compelling reason. But again, it will be an appealable decision, and it has to be rational decision making. But I think that whether the person is a risk is really the main consideration. And the mental assessment. You know, and again, the mental assessment refers back to risk.
How long does it take for a case to get from? I just ask it because I have interpreted the cases, and I mean, for 4 cases to take past 3 years or so. They just took a report in the police station. People more or less confessed to doing whatever the crime was. Nothing doing. How long does it take from detection for person actually sign more or less a confession, more or less, to court? That's just, I mean, I don't know.
There's an answer. I just don't know the answer. But the answer is in the annual judiciary, report of the judiciary, where they actually give typing. But the last time I looked at sexual offenses were one delayed. One more delayed trials. And if you think that only 232 cases of convictions between 2000 and 2019, it gives you a sense of how long it's taking to go through the legal system. But I don't know. But I think we can find the answer.
Why do you have to wait until the perpetrator is discharged from prison before his name could go on the register?
No, his name will go on the register. The court will determine at the moment of conviction whether he will go on the register. So therefore, secondly, the court has a sentence for 10 years in jail. Thirdly, the court says, but now are you the person who should be on the register? There's another kind of hearing based on the considerations which the act sets out at the time of conviction.
But that's 10 years after.
No, at the time of conviction, the court will determine whether that person will go on the register or not. And will also determine whether that person will go on the website. Not just on the register, but on the website.
Okay, another question. And when say like a teacher is reporting that a child was abused, and the teacher is like, you know, the perpetrator, how do you say, wants to do something to the teacher if the teacher reports it. What happens in that case?
You need to threaten the teacher. Well, that's a criminal offense. You have to rely on the police to protect you. And of course the courts. But the police are your first line of defense.
Yes, this week or last week, charged an offender for a sexual offense against a child, and he was audacious enough to send $600 hush money. So he was also charged for witness tampering. So we have the offense now of witness tampering. Fortuitously for me, you all have the case. So maybe first case for witness tampering in the country. Your humble servant. So we have the offense of witness tampering, and it goes for any witness in a criminal matter or an investigation. Once anyone tries to influence, dissuade, or otherwise the witness, it's a criminal offense and prosecuted. Let me make a comment about the speed at which matters progress through the courts now. There is an improvement. We have the new criminal procedure rules that calls for strict timelines of getting matters to the court. I spoke earlier of the filing of statements and what we now commonly call paper capital. And that proceedings goes from the magistrate court also to the high court. So we have strict guidelines now, and matters are progressing more speedily now with those rules in place. So we can look forward to speedier convictions.
And also it's really important to have a jury.
If the evidence holds.
You can also have the juryless trials, right?
Yes.
For certain offenses.
So the rules are in place for speeding up the process. So I can't speak to the particular case where the confession is given, but to my mind, confession charge, the court, the progress through the court is the ambit of the court system. And I know it is being speeded up.
I want to give one example. Years and years ago, I used to practice for 5 years now. And one of the cases I lived around the time of the Sexual Offences Act. And this man came to me, he told me that the teacher has a daughter, and he took his daughter to the police, and the police want to give him his daughter. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And there's nothing like telling a lawyer somebody had your child, they had all their uses booked up. And so we filed habeas corpus application, habeas corpus till 9 o'clock in the night. Because I was so filled with this rage of these police, and this teacher has this little child, and he doesn't know why they have this little child, and why they have this little child. So when we get to the court, the police come at 9 o'clock in the night, just Monica Barnes, and the child comes a little girl. And Monica Barnes, Justice Barnes took the little girl into her chambers by herself, and came back out, and the little girl told Justice Barnes everything that had happened to her. This man beating her father, that all the marks on her back and so on. And it was a teacher who made that report to the police. And everything worked as it should. He included me filing for habeas corpus because that allowed the child to place in care, triggered that care, treatment, and also triggered the arrest. The last thing the police did as they were leaving was take them out, put them in handcuffs, and take them away. So it was just one of these kind of perfect stories that you can think of. And that's what happens when the police respond. The teacher was vigilant, she made a report, the police responded, they did some investigation, they held on to the child, and the child came to the court. The child was here. Good story, right?
Let me give you a better one.
Yes.
A couple of months ago, an anonymous report. Police did investigation, I had the lead investigator right to my right here, and 125 offenses, 3 suspects were charged.
Wow.
An anonymous report.
So we know it can happen.
But
No, we know it is happening.
But how do we address the hundreds and thousands that aren't working out like that?
One at a time.
No, but and it's not just, with all due respect to the CPU, the reality is that the general TTPS ain't moving like y'all.
Well, I can't speak for everybody in the TTPS, but once it comes to the attention of the child protection,
I can tell you first time I went to a police station with a situation, and I'm sorry if it is your bouncing your head at it, but the reality is that those police officers, the sergeant picked up the phone, called a CPU unit, who then responded and said that it was not, that the situation that we were describing was not an offense, a CPU unit. The The sergeant then went on to advise that because the perpetrator had not been in contact with the child online for a month, to let sleeping dogs lie. That was the reason why they weren't going to go behind the person and, like as you're saying, investigate and detect, do basic work. So the CPU, and again acknowledging that you're doing good work, the reality is that you have a larger culture within TTPS where you have a few officers, I say in few, that not doing their work and are causing more problems.
I hear what you're saying. I would say this, that as a measure of comfort, that can't happen now.
This happened less than a month ago, officer.
I was,
And somebody
yeah.
Fresh.
So let's hear, John, do you have a comment?
So I just have a comment generally with sexual offences. I don't think it's really, well, not putting any blame on the city for this particular incident that I just last week I had to advise somebody. Basically, the person who was molesting her, she was molested as a child, she's 14 now, she's molested continually by a relative. And now the relative, she's living in a situation where the relative is close by again. Even though he's older, he's constantly attacking her and stalking her and touching her to try and rape her again. And she made reports to the police station who told her, even though she's an immediate threat of physical harm, you go to the court system and make a domestic violence application. So it's a lack of training of general TTPS officers. If it's immediate harm, you have authority to investigate, throw the man in a cell for a night, and detain him. You have 72 hours to detain him. Yes, I'm entertaining.
Could I just add something? That's the heat of the office a little bit.
Yes, I think so.
I agree, yes, but I agree of the culture that we spoke of and described existing in the service, but as a reflection of a broader culture in the countries of people. For example, a concern raised in the consultations leading up to the bill was whether a person who failed to report whether they themselves should be regarded as a sexual offender. That's how serious it got because of the problem of underreporting. So the laissez-faire and the degree of, I would say acceptability, but a willingness to turn a blind eye, that is entrenched in society, and inevitably it goes on in the service, which our officers are responsible to alleviate. But hence, I guess, the importance of BTS and all I've said before about entrenching consciousness and so on. And the responsibility is not just the officers, but of course, socially. And as Roberta said earlier, the law and the justice system can only do so much. They have a role to play, but there's a larger role to be played by those who do not hold positions of authority. And in so doing, support not only the officers, but even offenders. As a matter of fact, in certain countries like Canada, there are certain programs where registries are effective because they do not exist on the road. They're supported by those, by community programs, by specialist programs, so it can work. But we have to see the responsibility transcending the authorities. Because our officers come from our living rooms and our communities and our churches and so on.
So maybe 2 more minutes forward.
To add to that, I think that's really reiterates one of the recommendations on the business side about bystander intervention. Because too often that 8-year-old story you recounted from South happens today and throughout. I mean, I can count countless examples where when it's excruciating on the child is when persons are saying, you know, I really heard something. And it's really for us to go beyond that just concern and real active outcry and outrage for these things that are happening so that it could complement what the police is trying to do and also even address the inefficiencies that we acknowledge is amongst us. And I think, well, now there's a TTPS app to see what activity that can bring in terms of that anonymous reporting. But that whole cultural awareness is so key, especially in faith-based organizations where you still hear several accounts amongst a variety of faiths that are not reported of children who grew up in an assembly from a child who had been assaulted and is now an adult and is coping. And these are things we need to really break those kind of barriers to really get to safety for the children that we are trying to protect, because it's people of trust that continue to be the ones that violate our children.
I mean, I think too, Aisha, that's why we have a lot of education around the act, in particular the expansion of the categories of persons who are mandated to report, which this act now includes faith-based organizations, persons who work with faith-based organizations, sports clubs, youth clubs. They need to understand religious organizations that they have a responsibility, that they can't look away from it.
Now it's enforcing that extension of humanitarian reporting.
And I think we're not really quite aware of that yet.
No, they're not.
Atmosphere.
For sure they're not.
Question?
In fact, a comment. Certain faith-based organizations, I'm aware of an incident in 2013 where a member of a faith-based organization was victimized by the pastor. She made a report to a board member who was a police officer. And he made a report, it was investigated, and the pastor was charged. So it is happening. So it's not like it's a resignation and to say nothing is being done.
Yes.
Something is being done. It's still there. Pastor was in.
I mean, I think we have to acknowledge, as I started off at the beginning, and I end, we have to acknowledge that we are making progress, but the scale of the problem requires more from everyone, not just from the police, not just from the socialists, not just from the bystanders, from all of us, not just from the academics. We have to do in the words of this project, break the silence. We have to speak out, we have to stand up, we have to act to protect children, and we have to hold ourselves firstly accountable for doing that, and then of course, all institutions accountable. It starts with us. Thank you very much.
So I think sessions like this just remind us that the concerned issue requires a multidisciplinary approach, and all of us here share different narratives and experiences within the system and out of the system, and just wanting to make that change. I think conversations like this is important, and I hope next year when we have this gathering, that we have the same energy, we have more solutions, and we've taken into consideration the ideas put here by our own brethren and sisters and indifference to make the difference for our children. So with that said, folks, I just want to acknowledge a few of the bodies who have been really pushing the BTS movement. The 2 Cents movement have been being trained by IGDS, BTS to understand these realities and then translating that into spoken word and poetry. So I just want to really take the opportunity to thank you publicly for investing in gender and gender scholarship and gender knowledge. Right? I want to thank the Muslim Women's Organization. I think in 2017, you partnered with us to go into a couple of schools. Also, we did the movie premiere, and I think that awareness just shows how it takes multiple persons in multiple sectors of society to really push this cause. The media, Aga Samaru, has really invested in gender consciousness and break the silence by just even wearing the pin, being a public figure. You've brought a particular kind of knowledge and inspiration and acknowledgement to the issue. So I want to also publicly say thank you for doing that, right? And anybody else who I forgot to mention, just thank you for pushing the cause, because our most vulnerable is children, right? And if we develop a framework and a system that meets that, and society can be a better place. So with that said, folks, thank you for having me. I'm going to ask Professor Rhoda Reddock to come and just give us some closing remarks.
Thank you very much for coming, staying, being hungry, tired, showing such enthusiasm. And we always, such events are supposed to bring enlightenment, but also inspiration and motivation. So I hope we leave here more motivated to do the important work that we have to do. I think for me, the importance of changing attitudes, ideologies, belief systems, norms is critical, because I think the police, the social workers, the children's authority have so much work, because we have not been doing the groundwork of changing the ideologies and behaviors about how things should be done. And this includes gender ideologies, attitudes to violence, power relations, inequalities, etc. So we have a lot of work to do, all of us, and each of us need to identify our corner and to do that work. I'd like to really thank Roberta Clarke. I think we were already privileged to benefit from her knowledge and wisdom. And thank you very much for sharing it. I think we all have a much better understanding of the Act. We have an understanding of its strengths and its challenges, and it gives us a better framework to carry it out. I'd like to thank the staff of IGDS, Kathleen Chan in the back, who always whips us into service and organizes us. Of course, Marcus Kissoon, the indefatigable, and all the staff of IGDS, Whitney, etc. Thanks very much. And thanks so much to you for coming and for staying with us. And the struggle continues. Good evening. And you can see whether there's still some refreshments at the back.
Mr. Roberts.
I have a number. Is that they keep categorizing things as domestic violence, but she was under immediate threat of harm. It's a lady in Superior. She made a report. So basically, what like a relative is like actually cutlass of a brother, and then he's like trying to balance well, and he's trying to separate himself, and he was passed over like the child. So she's being referred to the court system. I think like 3 months ago, an order, and then the order is a piece of paper. It should have been an investigation for rape and sexual assault one time. Don't give me her number. I believe it's a parent. It's down that side. I'll give you her number. 348 7105. RIA. Is her sister called me, say, call her sister. But something like that. She's a baby. And it's her uncle was in trouble, trying to sexually assault her again, like spoken her when she's over. Because I just referred her to